Thank you. Please. Enough. And welcome to the Seventh Heaven podcast. I'm your host, Evan Myers. You can follow me on Twitter at Seventh Heaven. You can follow my Instagram account at Seventh Heaven Pod. You can listen on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, Rumble, and no, I have not figured out Odyssey. And that is not because I've tried and I'm stupid and haven't figured it out. It's because I have put very, very minimal effort into that endeavor. That might be shocking to some of you. Here's the thing, guys. Last we talked, it was right before Thanksgiving. And, well, I'd ask you how yours went, but I don't care. I really just don't care. No one cares about your precious little holidays or your stupid little vacations. No one cares. No one. Here's the thing. If you went somewhere interesting, I'm maybe willing to talk about it for 2 minutes. If you want somewhere that everyone has been to, or like people who go to Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii. I have not been to Hawaii, but it feels like everybody goes to Hawaii. So I feel like I've been there. When all you tell me about your Hawaii, your trip to Maui or Kodiak Island or where the fuck it is, I don't care. So why I'm sitting here thinking, yo, they should hear about my Thanksgiving. What, you want to hear that I overate? Is that what you want to hear? You could have deduced that just by looking at me. You would, if you saw me, you'd say that motherfucker overate on Thanksgiving, and you'd be right. And you're like, he probably watched football on Thanksgiving, and you'd be right. And he probably had a couple of beers, and yes, you'd be right. So what is the point? I say, what is the point? What is the meaning of this? There's no point. That's how you losers want to know how my Thanksgiving went. It went great. I ate. I watched football. So yeah, that's all you need to know. I don't care about Hawaii. I don't care. Here's the thing. If you go somewhere where you like committed a crime, if you went overseas and committed a crime, I'm interested. I'm interested in what you have to say about your trip. If you say, I went to Maui, it was beautiful. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. I'm out. If you say I went to Maui and smuggled cocaine back, I'm interested. And not because I want to do cocaine. I want to hear about something interesting. I need information. I'm an info addict. What can I say? So all these losers who go to Hawaii, that's right. And if you go to Hawaii, you're a loser. That's exactly what I'm saying. Literally. I want to hear stories from people that do things that are interesting. So when somebody tells me that they're, going surfing in Maui, I go, great. I grew up in California. People went surfing. I didn't care. You know what I would be interested in? This is, if you go surfing in Maui, this is what I'm interested in. Flying with a surfboard. What's that about? You just put it in luggage? Do you have to do extra padding? I'd be so nervous that they would destroy my board. That is interesting. To me, that's interesting. Going to Maui, what's it like bringing your surfboard, going through TSA? That's a story. That's why my Thanksgiving, it's nothing. It's not nothing, but it's not a story. What was interesting? Evan overate. Evan ate too much. He was in a food coma. And you can say, wow, that's crazy. And it's like, it's not. It's not. Not only does it happen every Thanksgiving, it happens at least twice a week. You know? Where you overeat and you're grogged out. Your eyes are barely open. And you don't even know how the oxygen is moving down your windpipe because you've put so much shit down there. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, really. It's disgusting. So, yes. I don't want to hear about this. Is the worst part of the Instagram. The best part of Instagram is, I believe, like the second week of August, because that's when all the women sync up their bikini pictures, right? That's when they all put them out on Instagram. It's like after 4th of July to mid-August, you start getting the bikini. Now it's like, here's the trip I'm going on to avoid my family. I'm going on a trip and I'm trying to avoid my family. This is why me and my husband, or me and my lover, this is why we go to some tropical paradise. This is why we're in Costa Rica for Christmas, because we hate our parents. Because that's why we're there. We're trying to run away from reality. And I always asked when I was a kid, because I knew these people. I fucking knew these people. When I was a kid, I knew this family. They'd go to like Hawaii every year for Christmas. And all I'm thinking about is, how the fuck is Santa Claus going to find you in Hawaii? And they're like, oh, Santa found us. And I'm like, what? Man, the rich get richer. Santa Claus, you couldn't wait till you got home to open presents. You went to Hawaii and then opened presents. See, I think that's how, like, could you imagine, what is the luggage fee on that? What is that? Now I'm interested. Okay, now I'm interested in these people. If you have your Christmas in Hawaii, how much does it cost for you to bring the presents that you have to label as Santa Claus? How much? That's what I want to know. Then I'm interested. But everybody else, I'm not interested. You can fuck off. But please follow me on Twitter at 7th Evan. Tell your friends. This is what we're doing on this show. We're having fun. We're trying to have fun. This is a fun experiment. Okay. I was watching one of those dating shows, where it's like you get paired off with some person in a room and you can't see them, and you get to talk to them, and it's like, oh, do you want to marry this person? I don't really remember the whole thing, but they kept calling it an experiment, and all the guys were like, I'm really interested in participating in this experiment. I'm like, this is you guys, I think you all are aliens. I think those are the undead amongst us. I think they're drinking baby's blood. This is what they do. This is what they do. And I don't feel bad for them when they get deprogrammed and sent off to some junkyard in another section of the galaxy. But listen, it's not important. The important thing is, guys, we got a great show prepared for you today. We're going to be talking the news. We got some news stories. We got some great news stories. Here's a news story, guys. You guys remember this Christopher Cuomo? Not to be confused with Columbus, both Italian. Here's the thing about the Cuomos. I think the Cuomos are some of the strongest arguments against open borders. Like these guys, these Italians, they just roll in here whenever they come over. And their dad becomes governor, and then the oldest one becomes a governor. And then the other one's on CNN, and quite frankly, it feels like it's a little much. It's a lot of Cuomo. Why does New York have to endure one and then another, and then America has to deal with the ugly stepson? He's not a stepson. He's actually the handsome one. He's on TV. But that's sort of the thing. That's why I bring him. He's not really on TV anymore. He's having a bit of a hiccup in his career. I don't know if you guys heard this, but CNN suspends Christopher Cuomo for helping brother in scandal. He's helping his brother in scandal. Is that an episode of a show, Scandal? I don't know. Well, let's find out. This is from the AP News, guys, and AP News is it's a small publication, and I want to make an effort. Okay, guys, I want to make an effort to support journalists on this show. I want to make an effort to support these journalists. These are conveyors of truth. Guys like Chris Cuomo, guys like Jim Acosta, guys like Brian Stelter, a.k.a. Mr. Potato Head. Guys, man. Just a bunch of guys. And they're saving our country from us. Isn't it great? Well, that's the thing. Chris is not. He may not be. Here's the thing. CNN indefinitely suspended anchor Chris Cuomo on Tuesday after details emerged about how he helped his brother, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, to face charges of sexual harassment. Is it sexual harassment or harassment? You remember when there was like when you do that sex ed class and they're all like, here's this and here's that, and you're like, oh, this is information. Oh, but they would always go like, and then here's sexual harassment, but there would always be the guy who's like harassment, sexual harassment, and you're like, who? Harassment what? I don't know. I say harassment, but it's like route or root, harassment. They're facing charges of sexual harassment earlier this year. The network said documents released by New York Attorney General Monday indicated Cuomo took a greater level of involvement in his brother's effort than CNN and executives previously knew. As a result, we have suspended Chris indefinitely pending further evaluation. So they're saying, according to emails and a transcript of his testimony to investigators working for State Attorney General Letitia James, her office found Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed at least 11 women. 8. Rookie numbers. 11 women. So Chris Cuomo previously acknowledged talking to his brother and offering advice when the governor faced harassment charges. But the information released Monday revealed far more details about what exactly Chris Cuomo did. Andrew Cuomo resigned in August to avoid a likely impeachment trial. You see, that's the thing, guys. When you're in trouble, it's just best to resign. You know, it's just best to quit. Cuomo's program, which airs at 9 p.m. Eastern time on weeknights, averaged 1.3 million viewers, narrowly. Hold on. 1.3 million people were watching Chris Cuomo every night. My God. That's terrifying. Like many cable newscasts, viewership is down significantly after being swollen during the election year. Why not say after being, larger? Why swollen? Yeah. Sometimes it's fight these writers. Like, you're a news writer. You're supposed to write at a third grade level. You're not supposed to. Why are you talking about swelling ratings? It's fucking ugh. Cuomo appeared on his program on Monday night talking about COVID-19 and politics without mentioning his own issues. There was no immediate response to a request for comment sent to Cuomo and the lawyer who represented him during this summer's testimony. Anderson Cooper subbed for Cuomo on his show Tuesday. God damn. Get to the gist of it, bitch. God damn. During the first 2 months of the pandemic, Cuomo interviewed his brother on the air a number of times. It was a hit with viewers, although it violated CNN's policy of not having Cuomo report on his brother and was a programming choice that has grown worse with time and additional revelations. You don't think. I don't know if you guys were paying attention at the start of the pandemic. This is that's the if you guys were paying attention at the start of the pandemic, just a chance if you were, you may have noticed that in certain areas, certain states, people who lived in assisted living and retirement homes were not allowed to leave. So they would prevent people from pulling out their parents from a home to take them and live with them during the pandemic. For some reason, they locked these people in retirement homes, and believe it or not, the virus spread like wildfire. So, yeah, I think it's a little odd, a little strange, a little strangey poo, if you ask me, that Andrew Cuomo just sort of, people weren't asking questions about that. And it didn't just happen in there. I believe it happened in Pennsylvania, and I think Michigan might have done a little bit. I think California started that and then stopped it, I believe, if I recall correctly. But, it's interesting because at the time, I remember I was watching, I'm like, why is Andrew Cuomo on TV? He's murdering people. He's murdering people. There's old people living in these homes, and their kids aren't allowed to take them out despite a pandemic that only really affects old people. Primarily. We'll say primarily affects old people. So, it was kind of weird. Like, if I were on a mass murder spree of old people, I wouldn't be on TV. Personally. If I were to slaughter thousands and thousands of elderly New Yorkers, I would not be on TV. Like Bin Laden had it right. He kind of laid low, put out a video every so often. But Cuomo was like on TV. And I think, it's something like 13,000. I don't know. It's more elderly people in New York, I believe. What do you fact check me on this? I believe that more elderly people in New York died of COVID than they died at 9/11. And, Bin Laden wasn't on TV all the time. I mean, they had the stock footage of the guy, but he wasn't on Larry King. But then again, maybe if Osama's brother was on CNN, maybe different story. I don't know. Maybe. Chris Cuomo frequently consulted with his brother's aides when Andrew was fighting the charges last May, sometimes disagreeing with their advice. Quote, "This is my brother. I'm trying to help my brother through a situation where he told me he did nothing wrong." Cuomo testified last July to investigators at the Attorney General's office. He has said he did nothing to influence his own network's coverage of the story. Well, maybe. Cuomo also said he reached out to other journalists to find out whether they were writing stories about his brother, most notably seeking information on what Ronan Farrow of The New Yorker was writing. He acknowledged that he didn't tell CNN he was doing this and characterized his actions as nothing out of the ordinary for a journalist. Critics have called on CNN to take action following the Attorney General's release, with David A. Graham of The Atlantic saying Cuomo should resign or be fired by CNN if he isn't. After it was revealed last May by the Washington Post that Cuomo had consulted with his brother's aides, CNN released a statement saying that his actions were inappropriate, but it did not discipline. Cuomo, a lawyer, is 13 years younger than Andrew Cuomo, who has described as his best friend. They are the sons of former New York Governor Mario Cuomo, who was in office from 1982 to 1996. Yikes. He worked for several years at ABC News, joining CNN in 2013 as the co-host of the network's morning show. Here we go. A veteran TV executive, Shelley Ross, wrote a column for the New York Times in September saying Cuomo had groped her at a party 16 years ago. Cuomo told the newspaper that I apologized to her then and I meant it. Well, All right. It's kind of a random. This is kind of a random thing to throw in at the end. Well, listen, he also groped a bitch at a party, so you shouldn't feel bad for him. Yeah, I don't know. It's odd. Normally, here's the thing. If you're familiar with Jeffrey, here's the thing. Let me tell you about how the media works. Okay, guys. If you're familiar, if you've been keeping up on these things, there's a character named Jeffrey Toobin. Okay. And he's a writer / CNN guy. And I guess during a meeting, it was like a lunch break during a Zoom. These were the side effects of the pandemic, guys. This is another unnecessary death by COVID. This Toobin fella was on his they were on a Zoom call. They took a lunch break, and he took a handshake with his lunch break. You know what I mean? He squeezed one, he squeezed some juice. And the camera was left on. So people witnessed the entirety of his act. And I think he lost his job with the place he was writing for. But CNN, CNN, they suspended him for 8 months. And then now he's back on the network. This man whose penis was molested in front of his subordinates and coworkers put him right back on the air. Took him 8 months. So Chris, you're not as bad as that. So I say 3 months. I think they keep you out for 3 months, and either they give you a new show. Maybe they put you on the weekend rotation. Maybe they find like a late night thing for you. Maybe you start getting into comedy. There's many opportunity. This is a moment. You should think of this as a positive development. This is a positive development, Chris. This is a chance at redemption. And redemption is really all anybody ever needs. So here's the thing, Chris. Chris, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be working out a lot. I'm gonna be telling you that you're gonna be at the gym a lot. You'll be at the gym a lot. But, I think there's worse things. The thing that bothers me about this is not that he was helping out his brother, and not that he was possibly harassing women that were accusing him. That's all family business. But if your brother is a serial killer, that one, I don't know why that's not part of this. For some reason, CNN doesn't care. For some reason, CNN doesn't seem to care about the serial killer part of this. I don't know why they don't care about the fact that Andrew Cuomo is a serial killer. Yeah? Seems odd. Well, odd to me at least. CNN is a great establishment, media, and we should be grateful for the service they provide. So I'm here to support local journalists. That's what I'm just trying to support the local journalists. And they're local to Atlanta. And Atlanta is a great American city. So I'm happy for CNN. I don't know who will they put in that hour while he's gone. They said Andy Anderson Cooper filled in, but there's got to be somebody else, right? Is Michael Avenatti available? Oh, I have an idea.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Bill O'Reilly. Bill fucking O'Reilly. Listen, here's the thing. CNN's problem is that nobody takes them serious anymore. What's very little left of seriousness that they have is gone. It's gone. And, CNN, ever since they pulled it out of the airports, they just haven't been the same. And part of their problem is that they have burned the trust tree down. They burned it down. It used to be the most trusted name in news, right? They had Darth Vader doing the voice, right? Larry King. But now it's like, now it's people don't trust it. And I think the best way to rebuild trust with your audience is to give Bill O'Reilly a show. I'm just saying. I think that's a great idea. Anywho, there's a new CEO of Twitter. And people are, if you know, you know how there's the Mark Zuckerberg fella and he runs Facebook? Well, Twitter's Zuckerberg was Jack Dorsey. And Jack resigned. I'm not, I could read his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could read his 8-paragraph resignation letter and P.S. at the end of it if you'd like. What do you guys say? Okay. All right, I'll do it. Fine. Okay. No, fuck you. I'm not doing it. Here's the thing. Brevity is a good thing, guys. Brevity is good. And if you're going to leave a company as a billionaire, it shouldn't take you 8 paragraphs to explain why you're leaving. First is Parag being, second is Brett Taylor agreeing to, and third is all of you. We have, you guys don't need me to read that. I could read it. Hello, team. After almost 16 years of having a role in our company, from co-founder to all right, I tried. I tried. But yeah, this fellow's resigning, and it's, there's sort of a mixed reaction. By mixed, I mean a lot of people are fucking angry and mad. He's being replaced by this guy named Parag Agrawal. Prince Ali, fabulously, Ali, Barbara Agrawal. Parag Agrawal. He's set to take over the big tech company this is from the Federalist. Guys, this is from the Federalist, this article. Another it's a small local paper in the DC area. And they wrote this, and they're saying that this is the title of their article. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey steps down, makes way for new censorship king Parag Agrawal. And they call him Twitter's pro-censorship chief technology officer. Parag Agrawal is set to take over the big tech company after Twitter founder and CEO Jack Dorsey stepped down from his position on Monday. He leaves the company, and it says Agrawal first joined Twitter in 2011 as an advertising engineer and worked his way through that's the thing. This guy started as an engineer and he worked his way to become CTO. And now he's CEO. This is the American dream. Who said America was dead? I say premature. It says in a 2020 interview, the then CTO hinted that he endorses censorship and, quote, the kinds of things we do about this is focus less on thinking about free speech, but thinking about how the times have changed. What the fuck does that mean? The times have changed, guys. The times have changed. The times have changed. In Silicon Valley, yes. Not in, Kansas or Missouri or, one of them flyover states. He says, our role is not to be bound by the First Amendment, but our role is to serve a healthy public conversation, and our moves are reflective of things that we believe will lead to a healthier public conversation. Agrawal told Technology Review, not Technological Review. Blah, blah, blah. So that's an interesting mindset. Our role is not to be bound by the First Amendment, but our role is to serve a healthy public conversation, and our moves are reflective of things that we believe will lead to healthier. Why is that? Why? No. Hold on. Your role is to serve a healthy public conversation? Who told you that? Some fucking psycho free Palestine activist at Berkeley? Someone who throws fake blood at fur coats? Who told you that your role is to serve a healthy public conversation? Who told you that? That's interesting. I didn't sign up for Twitter thinking that was it, that it was about that. Huh. Just seems odd. So I don't know. You know, guys, when I joined Twitter, I first joined back in 2011, and it used to be fun. It was fun. It was a fun place. It was fun. It was a good time. The reason why it was fun is that it was a bit of a lawless land. You know, it was like loosey lawless land. There were no laws. And, you could reach anybody. So if you told a guy like Seth Rogen to go fuck himself, just as an example, he would see that and he would reply, no, fuck you and fuck your mother. And you'd laugh. You would laugh because it's funny. It's funny to make Seth Rogen angry. And that was the good thing. You could talk, and it wasn't all just fuck you, but a lot of it was that. But a lot of it was just guys and gals dicking around, just dicking around online, having a good time, having a gay old time, and so it hurts me, it pains me when these fellas they're just throwing it aside. They're just throwing it aside because it was a good time. Now it's not a good time. One of the things they're going to do is it says they're going to block video or photos of people who did not consent to be filmed private or whatever. Well, that's interesting to me because what does that mean? I can say that about anything, right? I was going to Starbucks. I was privately going to Starbucks. Privately, when I masturbated in that Zoom call, okay, that was private. That was private between me and my coworkers. You can't put that on social media. That would be a violation of my, not First Amendment rights. My trust in prerogative. Focus less on thinking about free speech, but focus on how the times have changed. It violates your role to serve as a healthy public conversation. If you're rubbing one out on a Zoom call and the fellas, they put it on Twitter, that violates your right to have a healthy public conversation, okay? Okay? Here's the thing. A lot of people are nervous. I'm not nervous because here's the thing. You already kicked Trump off. If you kick Trump off, it's like it's over. It's dead. And not even just as president, having the president, it's bad enough that the most powerful person, that a president, is not allowed to use your platform because you got so triggered by him. Effectively. I mean, that's bad enough, but really, Trump was a great tweeter. The man was good at it. The man had a great online social footprint, great content. He drove eyeballs, and you just boot him out. You just kicked him to the curb. And now you guys want to talk about a healthier public conversation. Well, what about you fucking off, right? Why do you get a space here? Why does a Grawl wall get a spot? What makes him so good and pure of heart? Is it because he serves his globalist masters? Maybe. But Prince Ali Paraguay. Listen, guys, I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to be singing show tunes all night. Not really. What I am going to tell you guys is that you should not listen. You should not listen to me about any of this. You should listen to smarter people, much smarter people. But I will say that it's not a good thing. It's not good when like Jack. That's the thing. Jack is being seen as like, he's sort of seen as like semi-friendly to free speech. He certainly talks a good game. He's a big Bitcoin guy. You know, when he went on Rogan, he kept talking about how free speech is central and blah, 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 blah. But now that he's stepping down and this guy's going in, it's kind of like, well, I don't know. Maybe he never really meant any of it. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see if you can still follow me on Twitter at 7th Evan. We'll see. Speaking of Seth Rogen, Seth Rogen had a bit of a moment on Twitter. There was this fella, I believe one of these guys, and his name, Casey Neistat. He said, so our cars got robbed this morning because Los Angeles is a crime-riddled third-world shithole of a city, but tremendous appreciation and gratitude to the hardworking officers at the LAPD West LA, who not only arrested the motherfucker, but they got all of our stolen goods back. This is this guy, Casey Neistat. Seth Rogen commented, dude, I've lived here for over 20 years. You're nuts. Haha. Period. It's lovely here. Don't leave anything valuable in it. It's called living in a big city. It's called living in a big city. Here's the thing. I have spent some time in Los Angeles. Let me tell you, it's not lovely. Lovely is not. You can defend Los Angeles in a million ways, but it's, well, about 2 ways, but maybe 5 ways. But you can't defend it and call it lovely. Lovely is not how I would describe Los Angeles. And I love it because this guy goes, I've lived here for over 20 years. You're nuts. Haha. It's lovely here. Don't leave anything valuable in it. It's called living in a big city. What? This guy's cars got robbed because Los Angeles is a crime-riddled third-world shithole of a city. Yep. And the cops arrested the guys and retrieved their goods. And Seth Rogen's response is, it's lovely here. Don't leave anything valuable in your car. Because that's what you get for living in a big city. This is another argument against immigration. The Cuomos were bad enough, but Seth Rogen is Canadian. And apparently Canadians are just fine with this. They're fine with thievery. Casey replied, I can still be mad though, right? Feel so violated. Seth Rogen, you can be mad, I guess. I don't personally view my car as an extension of myself, and I never really felt violated any of the 15 or so times my car was broken into. Once a guy accidentally left a cool knife in my car, so if it keeps happening, you might get a little treat. That's creepy. That's creepy. That's a weird way to talk about a cool knife being a little treat. Seth has got some interesting phrases here, talking about Los Angeles being lovely, talking about how a cool knife is like a little treat. Huh. So here's the other thing that I kind of zeroed in on. He says, I don't personally view my car as an extension of myself. That's fine. You don't have to feel like you're, but it is your property. And if it's broken into, it is violating. I don't know if you've ever had your property broken into, your home broken into. Maybe You ever been arrested? You know, these are violating experiences, right? If a cop searched your car, right? If a cop searched your car, you would say that's violating. So why is it that the random Los Angelenan can do that? And you're just like, that's fine. They left a knife this time. It's fine. It's a little treat. Give it to Billy. Casey replies, I didn't get any treats. He just took decorations for my daughter's 7th birthday party and left bloody handprints. Serious question. How did you get your car broken into 15 times? Seth Rogen said, I lived in West Hollywood for 20 years and parked on the street. Well, that's nice. That's good, Seth. I'm glad that you you enjoyed yourself living in West Hollywood. It's very weird because many of these people, all these woke dudes it's like they're all going in on like, oh, we need safe spaces and stuff. Like they're all in on the safe space world and shit. And everything's soft now and we need space. And this dude's car, his daughter's birthday decorations are stolen. And the guy left bloody handprints. And it's like, well, you know, at least you got a little treat. This dude, this Seth fella, I'm telling you, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Why do people defend, like, I saw this post the other day. All right, I'm going to get personal. I saw a post the other day online on Instagram of a relative, of one of my relatives. And the person made a comment about, you know, oh, I don't mind paying high gas prices if I get this beautiful Pacific Ocean view when I drive. And it's like, okay. I mean, here's the thing. I guess that's a trade-off. You know, the ocean's fine. It's fine. It's overrated. But is it worth, you know, an extra $20 a week in gas? I would say no. It's sort of an interesting, it's funny, these people will rationalize. It's like, to me, it's like if you have the alcoholic, abusive husband, you're like, he's gonna get better. He said he's really sorry. He didn't mean to hit me. And they're just like, well, he said it, so I guess it's true. And it's like, no. You need to get out of this situation. Los Angeles is a third world shithole. It's tent city down there. Nobody's working. You need a vaccine card to go anywhere. And this guy's rationalizing car theft. This guy's rationalizing car theft because it's a lovely city. It's lovely. God. It's amazing. It's amazing that this guy. This is the funny thing about Seth Rogen, is that all of his comedy was like, you know, it's problematic in today's age. If you go back and watch like the 40-Year-Old Virgin or, what was that other fucking, Super Bad. You know, there's a lot of problematic language, a lot of faggot thrown around casually, you know. And they're not talking bundles of sticks, and they're not talking about cigarettes. They're talking about homos, the Homo sapiens, the homosexual Homo sapiens. And these are, you know, listen, I don't judge, but his crowd does. And maybe that's why he feels the need to defend Los Angeles turning into a third world shithole, because otherwise he may never work again. Well, Seth, I'm glad you did this. It was very nice of you. It was very thoughtful of you. And if you ever hear of a girl getting raped, you should just say your vagina is not an extension of you. It's just not. It's a lovely city. He might leave a treat. Evan, are you comparing someone breaking into a car with rape? Yes. And here I am. Here's the thing. Let me defend myself. It's all wrong. It's all bad. Now, if you rape someone, you should be buried under the prison, whereas if you break into cars, you should just simply rot in prison. But if it's all bad, gang, it's all bad. You don't justify any of it. This is like when I hear people justify looting. I'm like, why? Like, oh, Target, they deserve it because they're rich. Okay, great. So when that Target gets burned to the ground and there's never another Target in that zip code ever again, and all those people lose their jobs, you showed them. You really showed them. Stop rationalizing your abuse. California is dog shit. It's fine to admit, Seth, I was born there. I was raised there. I know you're Canadian, so maybe you feel like you can't shit on it because you're foreign. It's fine. It's dog shit. Los Angeles is dog shit. There's lots of good food. Sure, it takes you 7 hours to get anywhere. It takes you all day to get anywhere. Okay, and then there's motherfuckers living under bridges with tent cities that catch on fire where, by the way, rape is pretty regular and murder takes place, and there's all sorts of the most atrocious things happening in some of these camps, and you're just like, it's a housing crisis. We need more affordable housing. This is what they do. This is the abuse. This is an abusive relationship. You have been, Seth, your taxes have been fucked because they're not. That's the thing. You guys go on about, we got to pay your fair share. Pay your fair share into what? So they can build a bullet train that they'll never finish? What do you get? They're stealing from you and you get nothing. You get nada. California is an abusive, drunk husband, and all the residents are just fucking women who've been slapped around and they're scared. And what I'm telling you is to have that Thelma and Louise moment where you put one in them, and by one, I mean around, and by him, I mean a figurative, whatever. I don't literally shoot anybody. But I'm just saying, guys, you got to have some self-respect. The state has gone to shit. You could have argued in the mid-2000s that it was great. But that day is gone. It's gone. Because of idiots like Seth Rogen, because they have perpetuated these actions. They voted for this. They've donated to it. They've justified it. This guy's on Twitter explaining, hey, man, I had my car broken into 15 times. I don't know what the big deal is. Fucking chill. I always love it when people just like, you shouldn't feel something because I became numb to it. Fuck out of here. No, that's not how this works. All right. If I say, well, I've had depression, so all you pussies should get over it, you'd be like, hey, man, that's insensitive. These people, their lives are at risk. They're going to die. Okay, sure. You had your car broke. Here's the thing, Seth. If you had your car broken into 15 times, so you were probably driving an absolute piece of shit, and you probably didn't have anything valuable in it. Good for you. And how was it? So if somebody leaves bloody handprints all over your fucking car, that's not violating. It's not violating. There's nothing wrong with it. There's just nothing wrong with it. Seth Rogen, you're an idiot. You make half-baked comedies that are almost good enough. And you've just become a colossal pussy. You've just become a pussy. And maybe it's all the sweaters you're wearing. Maybe it's because you lost some weight. I don't know. Maybe you're pussy whipped. I don't know. But you're gotten soft, bro. I get if you're the type of person who's fine with your car getting broken into, that's fine. Don't shit on somebody else because they went after LA. That's the bullshit. LA is a shithole. It's a shithole. Why is everybody leaving? Because it's so nice? Is it because the schools are so good? Is it because, like, there was a story of a homeless man at Malibu who chopped a guy's ear off with a machete. Malibu. That's where the money's at. That's where you should have none of that in Malibu. That should be just where the poors are. And that's happening on the beaches of the rich. LA, California has gone to shit. It's in trouble, guys. And anybody who sits there and defends it or pretends it, you know that meme of the dog and he's sitting in the living room and the whole thing's burning down. He goes, "This is fine." You know that meme? That is this. That is this tweet embodied. It's like my relative explaining, "Well, I'm fine paying the gas prices if I got this view when I make this drive once every 3 years. Isn't the beach so beautiful? I'll never go on it because it's always crowded and the parking's expensive and the seagulls are disgusting. Pigeons of the sea. They're pigeons of the sea, guys. Fuck seagulls. They're the worst. This is what happens when you're in an abusive, one-sided relationship. Break it up, guys. Break it up. I've talked long enough, guys. It's been a great show. You guys have been great. Give yourself, the studio audience, give yourself a hand. I appreciate you listening. This is the Seventh Evan podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Seventh Evan. Follow me on Instagram at Seventh Evan Pod. You can listen on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Rumble, YouTube, and I'll figure out Odyssey sometime. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Otherwise, you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thank you and God bless.